This is not just for weight loss. This is for just anything. If you want to change your life, this one thing can really do it for you. Alright, so I had a video planned, and I'm deciding just to go off the top of the dome right now because I'm right here by the lake. This is my current view, and I think I want to share with you all what I did to kickstart this weight loss, that the thing that I used to shift into the person that became that person who loved to work out, that loves to eat healthy, that loves to find new adventurous things to do. This time last year, today is July 6th, so July 5th, the day after 4th of July, obviously. I was thinking back, this time last year I was actually getting ready to go to the hospital. I didn't know it yet, but I ended up in the ICU around the 6th of the month, on the 6th. Yeah, I was in DKA, that's diabetic ketoacidosis. It was actually the second time. The first time was October of the year before, 2022. I had no idea I was diabetic, and I thought I was thirsty. I went to the hospital just to get fluids, and I was in there for about 3 days. And they diagnosed me with diabetes. I got it under control. I got my A1C levels way down. I believe at that time it was like at 9 something. And then I got it down. My doctor took me off the medications in January of 2023. And then I experienced one of the worst experiences I ever could think of, losing someone very important to me at the time, on 2023 January still. And then that led me down a path of almost destruction. So I wasn't taking care of myself. I couldn't eat. So when I did eat, it was usually sugar in the form of fruit. So I could only eat like watermelon and mangoes, things like that. So as a result, I ended up in the hospital again around July. So at that time I was in the ICU for a lot longer. I was in the hospital for 5 days, and for most of that time I was in the ICU. They were trying to stabilize my numbers. I went in there for, I think it was like 12.4. My A1C was at that time, and for the second time they weren't sure how I was able to just drive myself to the hospital. I was coherent, but pretty much organ failure, and it was terrible. So at that time I was diagnosed with the DKA, depression and anxiety, just a lot going on because of the grief and just everything, right? So oncologist wasn't nice at all. She was horrible. She was judgmental, until I asserted myself and I said I don't want her back in my room if she doesn't know how to conduct herself. And then she kind of straightened up. I don't know, people will try who they can try, right? So I already declared at that point that I was changing my life. I didn't know how at the time, but I knew I was going to be a fitness person. I told myself that, and I was going to be the person I've always wanted to be all of the years, because I was faced with death and I feel like I won, so I'm going to make the best of it. So that's what I did. So I decided to do all of that, but I had a knowledge of what I could do or what I should do. I just didn't know how to actually administer or get that started. I've always been working out. I've always been eating healthier foods. The only thing is I was overeating those healthy foods. That's something that we don't really speak about much. We say, oh, we eat healthy and we work out. I wasn't working out the right way. It wasn't the wrong way necessarily, but I was overeating and I didn't want to admit that. So it took about 3 months before I even realized like what I should be doing, I guess, to stay consistent. Alright, so I remember one night I was on Instagram and I saw a video, and I tried to go back and find it. I couldn't find it because keywords, it's not going to bring up what was in the video. But in the video, the man said the one thing you could do to change your life was this one thing. So I'm going to say what that one thing is, and I'll say that's one of the main things. But then I also remember around the same time I saw another method, which was to I don't know the name of that method either, but I decided to incorporate that with his method, and then as I started the process, I incorporated a third method, which is something I had known from a while back from, I don't remember the lady's name right now, but I've been following her for a while. That's so sad. For years. She has this book where she mentions, so I'll tell you her method first. I'm sorry, I don't remember the name. Again, I'll place the name. But she pretty much has this method where when she wakes up in the morning, she counts to 5. It's like counts down from 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and she just has to jump up before her brain can tell her to hit snooze or do anything like that. So I had tried that a few years back, on and off. So I knew that was something that did help me in the past. That wasn't the plan to incorporate that with the other two, but it ended up helping out. Now, the other method that I saw a lady talking about was slapping your leg, and as soon as you wake up, and before your conscious mind starts to become conscious, obviously. So before it becomes alert, you slap your leg, and then you start affirmations. So for that, I did I'll slap my leg, do affirmations before I got up, and I had learned that before the main method. The main trick, the main thing that I advise anyone to do, this is not just for weight loss, this is for just anything. If you want to change your life, this one thing can really do it for you. Now, it sounds so random, it sounds so silly, but it works. But before I tell you exactly what the main method is, I want to tell you how to prepare for it first, just because if I could go back and set this into place, I would do this first. So I'll say, first of all, before anything, you have to be real with yourself. One of the things that people have a issue with is being honest with themselves. They may down themselves and say bad things, but they really deep down are still in denial. So first you have to be real with yourself. I didn't want to be real that I was overeating a lot. I didn't realize, I never really ate the serving size. I don't think most of us do, but I was just eating for the sake of it, and I got that habit. I picked that habit up during COVID, like a lot of us did, and I just didn't stop. And the fact that I got a job working from home and I continued that, it was just, yeah. And the thing that was funny about that too was that everyone, it wasn't just me. I just kept saying, I would say stuff like, I'm bloated, or yeah, it's all gas. Like, I was getting big, and I would like still think I'm thick. I still have shape, which I feel like technically I still did, but looking back, it's just really all right. So people will tell you, you're not fat, you're thick. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. If your fat is more than what you should actually weigh, so let's say you're supposed to weigh 120 pounds and you're like 300 pounds, you know you're more fat than you are your body weight, which it should be. And honestly, I don't follow that scale too much. I don't want to emphasize following that. I'm just saying though, overall, if you know that you should be, more healthier weight and you are larger, just be real with yourself. All right, so I was eating a lot of food. They were healthy foods, but just too much of it. I was working out, but there were times where I would consistently go to the gym, don't get me wrong, but as far as the effort that was placed in, it wasn't there. And I had no knowledge of what I needed to do, how and why. I don't know, I just kept saying next time. So if that's you too, don't do that. I kept saying next time I'll put more effort in, next time. So that was those were the two things: overeating, underworking out. I decided to walk, and then I saw that video that told me what to do. Now, what you're gonna do, because the method includes affirmations, so I suggest making affirmations that are realistic to you. Look, I can put some affirmations in the description, but you can get affirmations and tailor it to you. So let's say there's one with weight loss, that is to say or just be wanting your body to be healthy, because for me it wasn't really about the weight loss, it was just I wanted to be in a healthy body. My son just lost his father, so I didn't want him to lose his mother too, so that was a big kickstarter for me. Their affirmation is I have a happy, healthy body, or something like that. It's just lame and bland or whatever. What I do is I put my own flair on it. If you are someone that says period, you can add that. Just if you can just hell yeah, you just whatever it is to hype it up and to make it more tailored to you, that's what you do. So if you curse, add that in there. Like, it's all in your head most of the time anyway. If you want to say them out loud, and you're free to do that, fine. But for me, most of the affirmations are done in my head anyway. But they should be in present tense. So they should be said in a way where when I started, the same affirmations I used when I started will be the same affirmations I use regularly if I'm ever feeling like I might be falling off, or I'm just not having a productive day, or I'm not very motivated, then I'll use the same affirmation. So use the one. So I'll be like one of mine, I like to talk about having slim waist, like nice face, slim waist, thick, you know, like you be that girl. So you can be like, I'm that girl, you're the healthy girl. You can be the girl that I used song lyrics that talks about being fine, being sexy, and adapted it to me, right? So cute face, small waist, and a big behind, right? So you adapt that to you. So I am, or no, I have, you know, or, and then I always focused on my health as well. The health was the main thing, right? So pre-plan some affirmations, at least 3 to 5 affirmations are circled around your health and the body image that you hope for, right? I also pre-planned by having a I wouldn't say vision board, because I stopped using that now. I say action board, because I take action on all of those things that are on that board, right? So I have my action board, and on that board I had not just a image of where I was, I also had an image of a celebrity. It doesn't have to be a celebrity, it could be an influencer, it could be a person in your family, but somebody that has the same body shape or size to you. And I know this can become dangerous for some people, but you just have to just be smart. All right. But for me, I saw somebody that was bigger and lost weight, and I realized, oh, I have the same big body as her, and then I had a similar small body because I wasn't always big. So I was like, okay, so Scissor was the person I chose as the body image, and she had been on my action board. At the time they were vision boards, because I wasn't really acting on that at the time, but she's been on my board for about 4 or 5 years. Whenever she had lost the weight, she has been on that board, right? And I realized that we had similar body shapes, so I felt like that was more realistic. As far as I also had older pictures of myself. I think that's pretty much it to get started. So your first stage, you're going to get your affirmations together, then you're going to get your action board set up. So you're going to figure out who you're going to look like. It should be you, but you're going to figure out what you aspire to look like. And there's probably some AI thing that can help you with it, but it has to be very realistic. You don't want to, if you're shaped straight or round, and you know, like, I don't know, just, you don't expect a Coca-Cola body if you know you didn't have a Coca-Cola body. Like, you know what I mean? And it's hard to say, like, as if you were always big your whole life. You don't know if you have a Coca-Cola body or not. So, but you just need a realistic goal. You need your affirmations, and then you're going to combine these 3. Once you get all of those set up, what you're going to do is, as soon as you wake up in the morning, you're going to do method 1, which is to slap your leg and start saying your affirmations immediately. At that point, your subconscious mind is open and receptive to receiving any new information. That you're going to program right away. So what I did as soon as I woke up is I started saying my affirmations. If I felt like I was gonna go through the affirmations, trying to remember all of the affirmations. So I said about 3 to 5 affirmations. Then I needed to get up right away, so I counted down from 5. So it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and jump up. You can't, no matter what you feel like if you're tired, if you're achy, whatever, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. As soon as you get to that, you jump up. You're gonna go immediately to the bathroom, and this method is the thing I feel like changed everything for me. It got me very disciplined, and one of my affirmations were speaking about how disciplined I am. All right, so, and you don't have to only have 3 to 5. You can do more if you want to. I only say 3 to 5 because the first stage, when you're learning or you're remembering your affirmations, as soon as you wake up, because you're forcing your brain to remember what your affirmations are, you're going to walk to the bathroom. As you're walking to the bathroom, you're still going to say your affirmations. You're going to go and brush your teeth. But the difference with you brushing your teeth today will be that instead of brushing it normally, how you would usually put the toothpaste on the toothbrush and you're going to, you can still do the first part first, but you're going to use your less dominant hand to brush your teeth. So of course, if you are right-handed, you will be using your left hand to brush your teeth. His method, I don't believe the affirmations were a part of his method, the method that he mentioned. It was just getting up to brush your teeth with your opposite hand. I decided to combine it because I combine it with the first stage where you just immediately remember affirmations as soon as you wake up. But I will like to say the first thing I did do was thank God for waking up. So I rewind to that, thank God, and then start the affirmations. I brush my teeth with the less dominant hand. If you're ambidextrous, use your feet. I don't know. I guess maybe use two hands at the same time. You just want to like jolt your brain, and there's some science behind it. But what you are doing, you're pretty much rewiring your brain, because whenever you try to do an activity, when you challenge yourself, you are lighting up areas of your brain. I believe it's in the hippocampus. And then with you affirming what you want in the present tense, it's like you're quantum leaping to that space mentally with your brain, even if your body physically hasn't gotten there yet. So I believe I don't remember if he said how many days, but I actually did it. I challenged myself. I made it a culture to do it for 21 days. And then just know that if you are going to do this and you want to do it for 21 days, if you skip a day, just pick up for the next day. Don't hold yourself like to any, I don't know, just don't be too hard on yourself, right? So every morning for 21 days, you're going to wake up, you're going to thank God for waking up, thank the universe, whoever you want to thank. You're going to slap your leg to wake yourself up a bit. I'm slapping my leg now, I don't know why. You slap your leg and start to remember your affirmations. As you remember, if you've gone through one cycle of, like, let's say you have the 5 affirmations, you go through one cycle, and then you're going to count down from 5 and jump up out of bed. Go straight to the bathroom, brush your teeth with your less dominant hand, and continue the affirmations as you're in the mirror saying your affirmations like you believe it. You have to believe it. That's the thing. In the first few days, you may not believe it. It may feel funny, but I want you to get that energy. I want you to feel yourself. Feel it. Like, it's not going to work unless you feel it. I mean, completely feel like I am that. You know, I'm not going to say it, but you know what I mean. You're going to feel it, right? And then another thing you want to do going throughout the day, anytime you do feel a little discouraged, anytime you do feel like you might be falling off, remember your affirmations. Just remember your affirmations to continue. And then anytime you are going to eat something that maybe you shouldn't at that time, maybe too many calories for you to burn off in a particular time, then just go ahead and start saying your affirmations. I make healthy decisions, you know. And then you trust your body. So I like to say my body knows exactly what it needs. I always make the best choices. I always make the best choices for me. I know exactly what to eat, and then I also adapted it. And it may, of course, diet. I made sure I ate well. I meal prepped in the first stages. So in the last, I'll say maybe 4 or 5 months, I haven't meal prepped. So after a while, you don't necessarily have to stay on it. I'm not saying that you should or shouldn't. It's up to you. You would have to know what's best for you. But for me, the first few months, I stayed on the meal prep, and I made sure I got up and I worked out right away. If you don't feel like you can sustain it, just know that as soon as you get onto a routine, you get disciplined, and you start to see the weight coming off, results are 3 months behind discipline. Keep that in mind. So that doesn't mean you hit 3 months and you just stop cold turkey. If you're able to continue to eat well and work out, just because for me, that's what happens. It works. You don't have to do the method all the time, but anytime you feel as if you might be slipping off, then start again. So let's say you've reached day 17 in the method, and then you realize, hey, I haven't done it for 2 days, and then you're like, okay, I have to start all over or whatever. You could continue at that point if it's just like 2-3 days, but if you want to start over, you start over. And I've done that, the same method again. It's not just for weight loss, but I've started doing that for everything else. So I've been able to become disciplined with finances, disciplined with disciplined with just caring for my child. I already know I'm a good mother, but there were with becoming the sole parent to my son and going through a lot of the depression that I had gone through the previous years, dealing with battling my health, I fell off. So I had to develop discipline to get back on and just make sure I was putting his needs not first anymore. That's one thing too. You do have to make sure you take care of yourself. You have to love on yourself. I've said this in other videos, but it's very important to practice self-love. And one of the things I should have started with, don't say anything bad about yourself. Don't put yourself down. I like to say, be impeccable with your word. That's how it works. Your body's not going to listen to you if you disrespect it. It's that simple. You keep talking about how fat you are and all of these, this is not working. Imagine having a best friend, all right? And your best friend's always there for you. If you need something, your best friend's got your back, right? Through thick and thin, your best friend's with you. And you start abusing your best friend by neglecting the best friend, and that's not nurturing the friendship, right? As a result, your best friend is not acting the same way. They're still trying to be there for you. They're still there for you, but it's just difficult, and you can see they're a lot slower to come, but they still come every time, right? You have to look at your body like that, because it really is your best friend. It's the only thing you have. It's the first thing we receive when we come here, and it's the last thing when we leave, right? So just take care. You're not going to disrespect your rider like that, right? So don't disrespect your body. It's as simple as that. As soon as you start to become impeccable with your word, as soon as you stop disrespecting your body and start caring for your body as if you would your child, or a child, or not even just a child, just your best friend that's just been there for you. The fact that your heart beats without you thinking, you're able to remain in homeostasis without even thinking about it. Just everything that you've put your body through, and it's still here. If you're watching it, your body's still here. So imagine you did that. You did so many things to your body to get it to where it is, and then you just keep disrespecting it. I don't know what other word to use, but it's just it makes no sense. And obviously I was doing that too. So, and then there's people that will say, oh well, I love my body. They try to convince themselves that they love the unhealthy body that they're in. Again, that goes back to the beginning. Be real with yourself. All right, start there. So this is an impromptu video. I hope I got all my thoughts across. I hope I got the message across. Trying to think, but if I did leave anything out, I will probably add that to another video. And I'm going to leave some resources in the description, some of the workouts that I used. So if you don't want to go to the gym necessarily, I did do a lot of kettlebell workouts. I have ideas for kettlebells. So if you Five Below, I think they still have kettlebells. Last time I went, I saw they still had kettlebells. So getting that, if you don't have kettlebells, just any type of weight, you can just do some little home workouts. I always recommend walking. I'm actually on a walk right now. I decided to take a little break and sit by the lake, like I said. So walking has become that thing for me. And I honestly, I started romanticizing my life a little earlier along in this journey. I started romanticizing my life, and I told myself I'm a YouTuber and I'm going to be able to make videos like this, telling you all that it all started with a step, that I started walking. And it's true, I started walking, and then slowly things start to come to me to help me along the journey. So hopefully you are on your journey and this is helping you. So the number one, the main trick, the main method. So this is the 3 methods I put into one that changed my life, well, changed my health for the better. And as far as my A1C, it went from the 12.4 to, I believe it's like I'll put the number here because I have the paper at home. I just got tested, so I'm out of that diabetic zone. I'm technically would be borderline diabetic where the numbers are. So I'm still working on another 3 months. I'm sure I'll be fine. Continuing to eat well, continuing to affirm that I am eating well. I'm continuing to take care of my body. I nurture my body, not just eating well and working out. I dry brush to keep the skin tight. So that's another tip too. This video is turning into like a bunch of videos that I wanted to do separately, but if you're watching this, just take notes, right? So dry brushing, just as you're losing weight, drinking water, dry brushing, it's going to help to firm that skin. I use shea butter on my skin. I get compliments on my skin all the time. I do have stretch marks. You can barely see them, and I stay out in the sun a lot. I'm going to be 40 in December, and if I say I hate when I didn't like when people said it, if I can do it, you could do it. But trust me, I don't have a 40-year-old body right now, and it's because I told myself I won't. Like I I knew what type of body I wanted. I affirmed that that's the body I have, and that's the body I got. So I'm still working on it. I'm still a work in progress, but I still believe it's necessary to be kind to yourself. And that, if nothing else, even if you don't want to do the other methods, at the very least, be kind to yourself. All right. So this is off the top of the dome. I'm kind of proud of myself. Hopefully, I don't think there's much for me to edit, so I'll be able to get this up on time. If you've made it to this point, you're a real one. Thank you for watching. If you have any comments, if you have any questions, put them in the description bar. If you have any requests, if you want to know what I ate, how I meal prepped, or anything like that, let me know what kind of videos you want to see. And I still have some waist bead videos that I want to work on. The chakra series, I definitely want to continue working on that, so anyone is interested in that. I do have a video I can link here of what I did to how I incorporated the waist beads to help me lose weight, so watch that there too. And until next time, love days.